Hello students, this is Priti Jain. Today we are going to start part 2 of our third chapter, The Midnight Visitor. As we have continued this chapter and I have sent you video of part 1. Just to recap, in which there are 3 characters named Fowler, Max and Ozable. Max and Ozable are the secret agent and Fowler is a writer. So let's start further. So when Max and Ozable were moving together to a hotel where Ozable lives. So both have reached there. Further, we see what happened. As he spoke, Ozable closed the door behind him. Then he switched on the light. And as the light came on, Fowler had his first authentic thrill of the day. For halfway across the room, a small automatic pistol in his hand, stood a man. So what happened here? As soon as Ozable closed the door, when they both entered into the room and Ozable closed the room and he switched on the light of the room, what happened here? Here is a surprise for Fowler. What? Fowler saw his first real thrill, original thrill. And what was the thrill? For halfway across the room, it means to say in the middle of the room, across of the room, on the other side of the room, there was a person who was standing with a real pistol, with an automatic pistol. So it was a thrill, it was a surprise for Fowler. How this room entered into the room? Is this person entered into the room? Ozable blinked a few times. Max, he wheezed. Now Ozable thought, and he blinking his eyes, blinking this type when we our eyes like this. So he thought for a moment and he spoke, Max, you, he wheezed. Wheezed means, what is wheezed? When somebody spoke with a voice, like when a person creates sound while speaking, that is wheezed. You gave me quite a start. You gave me quite a start means you startled me. You surprised me. I thought you were in Berlin. What are you doing here in my room? Further, Ozable says to Max that he was assuming that he must be in Berlin, but he is here. Further, he asked to Max what he is doing in his room. Max was slender, a little less than tall, with features that suggested slightly the crafty, pointed countenance of a fox. Here we will see the personality of Max. So Max is a thin person. He is somewhat tall. His height is good. And his features are crafty, sharp, cunning like fox. There was about him, aside from the gun, nothing especially menacing. Writer says here that there is nothing besides the gun that was dangerous. Menacing here is dangerous. So there was nothing beside the gun that Max held in his hand. So there was nothing dangerous. If the gun was removed from him, then he is not a dangerous person. The report, he murmured, the report that is being brought to you tonight concerning some new missiles. I thought I would take it from you. Here, Max murmured. Murmured means to say something itself. means say in a low voice. So he says to itself in a low voice, the report that was coming to you tonight, that was about the missiles, in which there is a description of missile. You know all what is a missile. I thought I would take it from you. So Max is saying to Ozable that he was thinking that he will take this report from Ozable. It will be safer in my hands than in yours. Further, he says that the report will be safe in his hand, in Max's hand, than Ozable's. Ozable moved to an armchair and sat down heavily. Here, now Ozable sat on a chair. I am going to raise the devil with the management this time, and you can bet on it, he said grimly. Grimly here, angrily. What Ozable says to Max that now he will raise the issue before the management, and he shows as if he is very very angry with the management, and he says also to Max that he can bet with him that now he is very very angry with the management and he will raise this issue with the management. Now we will see what was the issue. This is the second time in a month that somebody has got into my room through that nuisance of a balcony. So what Ozable says to Max, that this is the second time when any stranger person came into his room through the balcony. What is balcony? Balcony is a space, first floor, second floor, third floor, on the roadside. It is an open space out of the room. Fowler's eyes went to the single window of the room. When Ozable says this to Max, Fowler, this is a surprise to Fowler that he says that there is only a single window in the room, and it was an ordinary window against which now the night was pressing blackly. So what is Fowler assuming, thinking that this is the ordinary window, and now because it's a midnight time and there is dark all around, so the window's pane also black. Okay, only the blackest was outside, nothing is visible. Balcony, Max said with a rising inflection. No, a pass key. I did not know about the balcony. It might have saved me some trouble had I known. Max is surprised also that balcony with a rising inflection. Inflection means an expression to say any word, to change its voice. Inflection, by changing voice. So Max said balcony, but he said that he used pass key. What is a pass key? Pass key is a master key. Master key is a key you can unlock any lock. This is a master key. He said that he don't know about the balcony. Further, he said that if he might have known about the balcony, that it was easier for him to come into room. It's not my balcony, Ozable said with extreme irritation. Now we see that Ozable is irritated. He is very very irritated. And what he says that the balcony is not his. It belongs to the next apartment. And further he says that the balcony is connected with the next apartment, with the other flat. He glanced explanatorily at Fowler. Now Ozable glance means see. Ozable see to at Fowler. as as he want to explain to Fowler. You see, he said, this room used to be a part of a large unit, and the next room, through that door, there used to be the living room. Now, uh, Ozibel explained about the balcony. Uh, he explained to Fowler as well as Max that the hotel in which he is staying, this was the large unit. It was a part of large unit, and now the next room's balcony is connected with his room, and through there is a living room crossing the balcony. It had the balcony which extends under my window now. What he says that there is a balcony that opens under his room. You can get onto it from the empty room 2 doors down. And somebody did last month. Further, he says that there are empty rooms, and from the empty rooms there are doors down. And further, he says that last month somebody also came into his room through that balcony. So here Ozibel explained about balcony. The management promised to block it off, but they haven't. So as we see that Ozibel is very angry, and he says that the management promised him that they will block the window, block the balcony, block this way, but they haven't done it yet. So we can say that he saw himself as he is full of irritation. Max glanced at Fowler, who was standing stiffly not far from Ozibel, and waved the gun with a commanding gesture. Please sit down, he said. We have a wait of half an hour, I think. 31 minutes, Ozibel said moodily. Now Max saw at Fowler. Fowler, who was standing straight. He was not far from Ozibel, and the waving gun means the gun that was in Max's hand. He commands, what? Sit down. Now sit down. There is half an hour for the document that is about to come. But Ozibel said, as we know that he is angry, angrily he said that no, only 31 minutes is there, not half an hour. The appointment was for 12:30. I wish I knew how you learned about the report. Now, Ozibel says further that the time of appointment is 12:30. Further, he says that he wants to know how Max came to know about the report. The little spy smiled heavily. When Max listened it that Ozibel wanted to know how I came to know, he smiled heavily. And we wish we know how your people got the report. Further, Ozibel says that how they can get the report, how it is possible. But no harm has been done. Max says to Ozibel that they wish that their people got the report, and without any harm they will receive the report from his people, from his group. I will get it back tonight. What is that? Who is at the door? I will get it back tonight. Max says that he will take the report from them. What is that? Who is at door? Fuller jumped at the sudden knocking at the door, and when the discussion is going on, there is a knocking on the door, and Max and Fuller jumped because it is a startling point for all of them. Who? What is that? And who is at the door? Ozable just smiled. That will be the police, as Ozable knows very well previously. So he is smiling and is saying that the police must be on the door. He said, I thought that such an important paper as the one we are waiting for should have a little extra protection. I told them to check on me to make sure everything was all right. Now, Osable explaining about the police, why they came at there. He is saying that he has called them to check whether all conditions are fair or not. Max bit his lip nervously. The knocking was repeated. Now Max got nervous. But the knocking sound is repeating. What will you do now, Max? Ozable asked. Here Ozable asking to Max that what he will do now. If I do not answer the door, they will enter anyway. The door is unlocked. Further he says that he if he if he did not answer, then the police will enter into the room. Further he says that the door is unlocked, door is not locked, and they will not hesitate to shoot Max. Then Ozable is trying to threat Max. He is saying if the door is not opened, they will enter into the room and they will shoot Max, because there is pistol in Max's hand. Max's face was black with anger as he backed swiftly towards the window. When Max listened it, his face became black with anger and he go back swiftly to the window. He swung a leg over the sill. Send them away, he warned. I will wait on the balcony. And as he was going back to the window, he put a leg on the sill and said, Send the police. He is warning to Ozable, send the police. Further he says that he will wait on the balcony. Here you may see the picture. You may see a person who is near the window. He is Max. And sitting on the chair is Ozable. Standing nearby Ozable is Fuller. So this is the scene. Send them away or I will shoot and take my chances. The knocking at the door became louder and a voice was raised. Again and again he is saying, send them away, or either he will shoot them and take the report. But the knocking on the door was repeating again and again. It was louder and louder. Mr. Ozable, keeping his body twisted so that his gun still covered the covered. See here. He twisted his body half towards Ozable, half towards window. And what is saying? Twisting his body and aim the gun towards Ozable. Waiter, fat man, and his guest window grasped at the hand to support himself. And when they opened the door, what is there? A fat man and his guest. Window grasps. He grabs the window and take one hand support. Then he swung his other leg up and over the window sill, and further he crossed his both legs towards the road, towards the balcony. The doorknob turned. Now the doorknob opened. Door unlocked. Door was opened. Swiftly Max pushed with his left hand to free himself from the sill and dropped to the balcony. Slowly, Max pushed his left hand to free himself from the sill and he jumped on the balcony. And then, as he dropped, he screamed once shrilly. As soon as he jumped, he cried. He cried loudly. The door opened and waiter stood there with a tray, a bottle and two glasses. As we saw here that when the door opened, there is a waiter with a tray and a glass. Here is drink you ordered for when you returned, he said, and set the tray on the table. Waiter said to Ozebel that he ordered when he returning to the hotel. So Ozebel knew about this, and he put the tray on the table, deftly uncorked the bottle. There is a lid on the bottle, and he opened the bottle and left the room, and he moved out from the room. With white-faced Fowler stared after him. Fowler is thinking, what is going on with him? What is going on? He was staring, he was surprised. But he stammered, the police, there were no police. He wants to know, and he asked to Ozebel, what is going on? He stammered, that police, where is the police? Ozebel said, there is no police, only Henry, whom I was expecting. He said that there was only Henry, the waiter of the hotel, and he was expecting that he must be on the door, but want that man out on the balcony. Further, Fowler said to Ozebel, but what will be happened with the person that is on the balcony? Fowler began. No, said Ozebel. Ozebel said, no, it will not be happen now. He won't return. You see, my young friend, there is no balcony. He said to Fowler that there is no balcony. So, Max will not come back. We don't know what must have happened with Max, but we see that with his cleverness, Ozebel escaped themselves from Max. So, with this, guys, our chapter came to an end. Thank you so much.